This is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. I really appreciate you joining me today, and this is a follow-up to a story that occurred during Carnival weekend in London. A man has been convicted of murder after he was caught on CCTV heading to a nightclub wearing the glasses that were discovered after the murder. DNA was also found on his house keys. Detectives were able to use the CCTV footage as well as the DNA from the sunglasses dropped at the scene to prove that Omar Wilson, who is 31 years old, was responsible for killing a chef from Dubai called Mussie Imnetu. Wilson from Leytonstone was found guilty of the murder on the 20th of February at the Old Bailey. The victim, Mussie, was 41 years old and he was visiting the UK from Dubai where he lived and worked, and was found unconscious with a head injury in Queensway W2 at 22 minutes past 11 on the 26th of August 2024. The police arrived at the scene in seconds and provided emergency first aid until paramedics arrived, and Mussie was taken to hospital where, sadly, despite their best efforts, he died on the 30th of August. Wilson claimed he was attacked by Mussie and he acted in self-defence. However, he was found guilty of murder by a majority jury. Detective Chief Inspector Brian Howie from the Crime Command said, "Our thoughts are very much with Mussie's family and friends in Dubai, Sweden and also London. They had to relive the last traumatic moments of his life during the trial after Wilson refused to take responsibility for his actions and go guilty." Mussie was a loving husband, father, son and a respected chef, and he was in London for a few days to train colleagues and went out on the evening to enjoy the post-Notting Hill Carnival atmosphere, where tragically he was violently assaulted. After the attack, Wilson quickly left the area and he actively avoided police officers as he did so. He travelled across London to attend a nightclub on Gaunt Street in South London, and this was about an hour and a half after the attack on Mussie. Although Wilson fled the scene, he dropped his sunglasses and house and car keys. Police were able to recover his DNA from the sunglasses, and the keys were a perfect fit for his house and car. Careful analysis by the police of his phone usage placed him in the area of Queensway at the time of the murder. Police were also able to piece together a puzzle of CCTV that showed the attack and Wilson's subsequent journey to the nightclub on Gaunt Street. The jury were also shown messages that Wilson had sent to his friends in the aftermath of the attack. One of them said, "There's a monster in me and it's just like sometimes it comes out. I think I've messed up now and everything's finished. I've fucked up. I crossed the line and went overboard. I don't think I can come back from this mistake. I'm going to jail in the morning." Wilson is due to be sentenced on the 28th of February, and I'll definitely update you on the sentence that he receives. And I really look forward to hearing what the viewers have to say on that story. And please don't forget to drop a comment below and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Staying in London for some other news and a story that come from the 10th of February, where police have now charged 3 people with a shooting that took place in Croydon, where a 17-year-old was left with life-changing injuries. At 20 to 8 in the evening, on Monday the 10th of February, police responded to reports of a shooting in Park Street. Upon arrival, they found the victim who had been shot in the leg. 3 teenagers were arrested the day after and they were later charged. Dante Dillon, 19 years old from Burgess Hill, was charged with attempted murder and possession of a firearm, and a 16-year-old also from Burgess Hill, who could not be named for legal reasons, was charged with the same offences. A 15-year-old boy from Croydon, who can't be named for legal reasons, was charged with attempted murder, and the 15-year-old boy appeared at Croydon Magistrates on the 13th of February, and the 16-year-old boy appeared on the 15th. All 3 will appear on the 13th of March at the Old Bailey. But thankfully nobody was fatally injured, but this boy, as it says, has got life-changing injuries, so hopefully he recovers to the best of his ability and makes the best of his life from this point on. But it also goes to show how quickly some of these cases can be solved, especially with modern technology and CCTV and all of these sorts of technological advances that are in the police's favour. On the same day, a fatal stabbing took place. A man in his 30s was killed. A murder investigation was launched after the fatal stabbing in Ealing, and police were called at approximately 10:30 in the evening on the 10th of February. They found a man outside an address on Oaklands Road in Hanwell with multiple injuries. Police and the ambulance service crews attended, but despite their best efforts, he died at the scene. Although formal identification was yet to take place at the time, police believed the man was in his 30s and the post-mortem examination was due to take place shortly. The following update to that recently is that the victim has been named as detectives continue to appeal for witnesses. The police were called, they said now, to the Grosvenor pub in Oaklands Road to reports the man had stumbled into the pub with serious injuries. Police attended the scene and the 33-year-old named as Darius Serafin was found with several knife wounds and he died at the scene. Detective Chief Inspector Alison Foxwell from the Metropolitan Crime Unit said, "We are making good progress with the investigation and a number of leads have been followed up. Our inquiries this far lead us to believe the stabbing took place in the vicinity of Sydney Road at the junction with Regina Road. Although this is predominantly a residential area, it's in proximity to the Broadway, a number of shops, pubs and restaurants that were still open at the time. This leads us to believe there may be witnesses who've seen or heard something. We urge anybody with information to come forward," and the victim's family have paid their respects and said Darius was known for his boundless empathy and loving spirit, and he loved everybody and animals as well. In his honour, his family urge anybody who knows anything to come forward to the police to help them with the investigation. So I want to send my condolences to Darius's friends and family, and we'll definitely keep you updated on the progress of that story. This next story is in Shepherd's Bush, and there's not a lot of information, but thank you to Dave Nathan and Crime Scene Images for coverage from the scene that shows the police cordon in place. At 1 p.m. on Wednesday the 12th of February, police were called to reports of a stabbing on Gold Hawk Road, West 12. Police and the ambulance service arrived and they found a male with multiple stab wounds, and he was treated at the scene and taken to hospital. His condition was unknown, but a man was arrested at the scene on suspicion of attempted murder. A crime scene remained in place for the duration of the day. So hopefully that victim makes a full recovery, and we'll update you if there's any more information about that story. 2 days later, on Valentine's Day at 4 a.m. in the morning, police were called to the Broadway in Stratford following reports of a large group fight. Police attended the scene along with the ambulance service and 4 men received injuries. 3 of them were stabbed. The victims were aged 22, 32 and 36. Their injuries were assessed as non-life threatening, and a 4th man aged 26 was believed to have had an injury to his jaw. His condition has been assessed also as non-life threatening, and 1 arrest was made and further inquiries are ongoing. So thankfully nobody was seriously injured in that story, and we'll update you if any other information emerges. This most recent story on the 18th is about the murder of a young man that took place in Hackney. Police have now identified the victim as 20-year-old Jason Jr. Romeo. Police were called to reports of an altercation on Botany Road E5 at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, the 18th of February. Police and the ambulance service arrived and tried to treat Jason at the scene, but he died as a result of a stab wound. Police arrested a 25-year-old man and a 23-year-old man later on the same day on suspicion of murder and possession with intent to supply Class B drugs. They were taken to a police station and were subsequently released with no further action in relation to the murder. They were bailed for the other offence. Inquiries are continuing. The detective in charge of the case, Kelly Allen, said Jason had his whole life ahead of him, but this senseless attack has taken it away from his family and his friends. Our continued thoughts go out to them, and if anybody saw this incident or was nearby, they urged them to come forward, and the crime scene remained in place while forensic analysis was being conducted. So our condolences to the family of Jason, and this story is fast progressing, and I'm sure we're going to have an update very shortly. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay updated with all the latest information to do with any of these stories and more. And don't forget to send your stories to news@scarcitystudios.com, and I'll be back again very shortly with some more. Thank you.